Good morning, everyone. The next topic is the pathological condition, like disturbance of respiration. So, in that, hypoxia. The first one is hypoxia. Hypoxia means reduced availability of oxygen to tissue. So, here what will happen? So, whenever there is a decrease the oxygen content in the blood. So, what will happen if the oxygen content in the blood decreases? The tissue will not get enough oxygen or decrease oxygen tension. The partial pressure of oxygen decreases, the hemoglobin will not combine with the oxygen, right? It will not combine with the oxygen. So the combination of hemoglobin with oxygen mainly depends on the partial pressure of oxygen. So that I explained in the transport class, right? So whenever the partial pressure of oxygen decreases, the hemoglobin will not combine with oxygen. So that leads to decrease the oxygen content in the blood. So hypoxia will occur. Okay. Or maybe any problem in the blood circulation. So that will also decrease the oxygen carrying capacity. So we will see the classification of hypoxia. The hypoxia may be classified into 4. So one is a hypoxic hypoxia. Okay. Hypoxic hypoxia, anemic hypoxia, stagnant hypoxia and histotoxic hypoxia. Okay. Hypoxic hypoxia means there is a decreased oxygen content in the blood. There is hemoglobin content is normal, RBC count is normal, so everything normal, but there is a decreased oxygen content in the blood is taking place. So in anemic hypoxia, anemia means reduced hemoglobin or RBC count. So here oxygen availability is normal. So in hypoxic hypoxia the availability of oxygen is less. Okay. So in anemic hypoxia availability of oxygen is normal, but the RBC, because of reduced hemoglobin content, oxygen carrying capacity decreases. Next come to the stagnant hypoxia or ischemic hypoxia. In a stagnant hypoxia, so here there is a decrease in velocity of blood flow. Stagnant means to stop and stop. Okay. So suppose the blood is flow through like this in a streamline process. So any obstruction is there, so that becomes the stagnant. So slowly, so there is decrease in velocity of the blood. Okay. So due to reduced velocity of the blood flow decreases, that will leads to hypoxia. Next is the histotoxic hypoxia. Here there is a problem in the tissue. Okay, the tissue here, the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood, but the tissue is not unable to take the oxygen, utilize the oxygen. Okay, so it's a problem in the tissues. So I will explain later those things. So coming to this classification, first we will see in the oxygen content in the blood. Okay, so in the oxygen content blood, in hypoxic condition the availability of the oxygen is less. So in the blood the oxygen content reduces. So in anemic also it is reduces. Okay, but in other two form it is normal. So arterial, the partial pressure of oxygen only in hypoxic condition, hypoxic hypoxia, it is reduced. Other thing it is normal. The oxygen carrying capacity here it is normal because the oxygen carrying capacity depends on the hemoglobin content. So in anemic condition it is reduced. So other three form it is normal. Hemoglobin saturation in both hypoxic and anemic it is reduced. So rate of blood flow to the tissue in the stagnant it is reduced, other it is normal. Oxygen utilization by the tissue in a histotoxic it is reduced because of the disease in the tissue. Okay. So this is not there. Okay. Understood? Next we will see each one. The hypoxic hypoxia. So physiological condition can be seen in high altitude. Okay, so high altitude, when the person is going to mountain, to climb a mountain, this is, suppose this is a mountain, the person is climbing a mountain, so this is the sea level, so all we are staying in the sea level. Okay, the sea level, the barometric pressure is 360 it is. Okay, so when you going for a high altitude, so above 8,000 feet, okay, this is a high altitude. So if you are the person is ascending to the high altitude, 5,000, 8,000, 11,000, like this, he is ascending. The barometric pressure is less. So when you are ascending, the barometric pressure is going to reduce, become low. Okay, at high altitude, the barometric pressure is low. Okay, so when the barometric pressure is low, so you know barometric pressure, atmospheric pressure. Okay, so always the inspiration or the oxygen which is entering the lungs, that depends on the atmospheric pressure. Okay, so at the sea level it is normal, 97%. The oxygen gets saturated with hemoglobin, because that depends on the partial pressure of oxygen. When you are going to the high altitude, the atmospheric pressure become low, so the partial pressure of oxygen tension, okay, the partial pressure of oxygen also reduces. Understood? So the hemoglobin combines with oxygen become less, so the person will suffer with the hypoxia. Understood? So when the person is going to the high altitude, so 8,000 feet or 20,000 feet, the barometric pressure is, or atmospheric pressure is go on decreasing. Okay, so our hemoglobin saturation with oxygen depends on partial pressure of oxygen. So whenever barometric pressure low, the partial pressure of oxygen is also become less, so the person will suffer from hypoxia. Okay, so that is called mountain sickness. Okay, mountain sickness is the condition characterized by adverse effect of hypoxia at high altitude. When the person is going to the high altitude or going to climb a mountain and all, so the person initially he feel difficulty in breathing, and also some symptoms can be seen, like vomiting sensation, loss of appetite, or their heart rate increases. So respiratory problem like hypoxia, he suffer with the breathlessness. Okay, and also the nervous symptoms like a headache, fatigue, lack of sleep. So these are the symptoms of mountain sickness. Understood? So mountain sickness, but our body has a adaptation. Some adaptations will be happen if the person is going to that is initially the he suffer mountain sickness. So after that, so the body will, if he stay for longer time there, so the body will adjust to that climate or to that high altitude. Okay, that is called acclimatization. Okay, acclimatization means refers to the adaptation or adjustment by the body in high altitude. Okay, so while staying in the longer several days in the high altitude, the slowly the person get adapted to that environment, so the low oxygen tension. Okay, so you can't increase the oxygen tension in the atmosphere, right? But our body only adjusts to that low oxygen tension, so hypoxia can be reduced. This will happen in all the person, the changes. Understood? So hypoxia means here the because of low oxygen tension in the atmosphere, the person will suffer the hypoxia. So that will happen when the person is ascend to the high altitude. Okay, so from the sea level, when he is going to the higher place, the barometric pressure, atmospheric pressure will be low. Okay, because of that the oxygen tension is decreases. So oxygen, the hemoglobin saturation with oxygen depends on the partial pressure of oxygen or oxygen tension. Okay, so that is called along with this hypoxia, also the person will suffer with like headache. Okay, so sleepless, lack of sleep, fatigue, vomiting sensation and all, heart rate will increases, and that is called mountain sickness. So if the person is go and stay for longer period or several days to week, the body, there is adaptation or adjustment will be happen, takes place in the body. So that is called acclimatization. Okay. So that is physiological condition. Pathological can be seen in cardiorespiratory disease or can be seen. So next is anemic hypoxia. So anemic hypoxia means only here can be seen in severe anemia where hemoglobin deficiency. Okay, so hemoglobin content is less, so oxygen carrying capacity will be decreases. Stagnant hypoxia due to slow circulation. Okay, slowing of circulation in the body. So that is a cardiac failure. So cardiac failure means the heart is unable to pump the enough blood, and slowly it is pumping the blood. So circulation become very slow. So this stagnant hypoxia can be seen. Next is histotoxic hypoxia. So histotoxic hypoxia, that is seen in cyanide poisoning. Okay, so in the cyanide poisoning, the tissue in the tissue or a cell, there is a cytochrome oxidase is present. It's an enzyme. Okay, so that will what it will utilize the oxygen, okay, convert it into ATP. So that process is taking place. So because of this that will tissue is unable to utilize the oxygen, that leads to histotoxic hypoxia. Okay, so that's complete the hypoxia. So hypoxia is very important. Okay, what is hypoxia? Then classification of hypoxia. So with example they will ask. Okay, so hypoxic hypoxia, you know, decrease in that high altitude, then during asthma, pulmonary disease and all. Then in anemic hypoxia, there may be a hemoglobin content, decrease in hemoglobin content. Stagnant hypoxia, that is heart failure or cardiovascular shock and all, it will happen. Then histotoxic hypoxia, cyanide poisoning. Okay, so next condition is a cyanosis. Cyanosis, so you can see here, this is a bluish discoloration of skin and mucous membrane. Okay, the skin and mucous membrane become blue color. Okay, bluish discoloration, coloration, and also it can be seen in nail bed, earlobe, fingers and all. So mainly due to presence of a reduced hemoglobin. Okay, so that means, so in some areas the hemoglobin will not combine with oxygen. Okay, so that is called, there's an increase in concentration of reduced hemoglobin. So here there are two types, the central and local or peripheral cyanosis. Okay, peripheral cyanosis and central cyanosis. So peripheral cyanosis, stagnant can be seen stagnant hypoxia. Exposure to cold, so very extreme cold places, what will happen? So this reduced hemoglobin can be seen, so bluish color of the skin can be seen. Okay, and also problems like lung or heart disease, where decrease in diffusion of the gases across the lungs, which will lead to cyanosis. Next is hypercapnia. Hypercapnia means increased carbon dioxide content in the body. So hypoxia means reduced oxygen content. Hyperapnea means retention of carbon dioxide in the body or increased carbon dioxide content in the body. So next is the asphyxia. So asphyxia is a combination of acute hypercapnia, that means increased oxygen content, reduced oxygen content, hypoxia. Understood? Asphyxia is combination of hypercapnia, that is increased oxygen content. If you write this much is enough. Increase carbon dioxide, decrease oxygen content in the body. Okay, so that is mainly happen whenever there is an occlusion of airway. Okay, so occlusion of airways, so that is drowning. If the person is drowning in the water, or strangulation, so or hanging. So hanging, what will happen? So person, so if you are doing hanging, so here the airways are present, right? The trachea and all, so that will be occluded. So if it is occluded, the oxygen will not, the person, if you take the oxygen is not entering these through these airways, so that will leads to decrease hypoxia. But the and also the carbon dioxide is not going out from the body, so that will lead to increased carbon dioxide. Okay, so that is called asphyxia. So next is apnea. So apnea is temporary stoppage of breathing. Okay, temporary stoppage of breathing is called apnea. So next one is a decompression sickness. So decompression sickness or dysbarism, also call it as dysbarism, then Casson disease. So in the decompression sickness, so it is opposite to the high altitude. Okay, dysbarism. So now the person, so this is the sea or any river. Okay, so a diver means a diver, when he person is going to the sea or a river, till he is in underwater, there is no problem. Okay, but suddenly when ascend to the, when he suddenly ascend up, he feels a symptoms. Okay, when he ascends rapidly from underwater to surface. Okay, when he ascends rapidly from underwater to surface, he will show some symptoms. Okay, so what will happen, that is called dysbarism. Here when he is in underwater, so in underwater breathing, there is a high pressure. Okay, the barometric pressure is very high. When you are going to the high altitude, higher place, the barometric pressure will be low. Then at the sea level it is normal. When we are going to the underwater, the pressure become high, like that. Okay, So we are staying in the sea level, so that is 360. So our body is adjusted to this barometric pressure. So when you go down, it will increases, barometric pressure increases. When you go up, the barometric pressure decreases. Okay, the pressure decreases like that. So now the person, if he ascend from underwater due to high pressure, so inside the water there is a high pressure will be there. So the volume of the gas in the body fluid and tissue is increases. Okay, the volume of the gas, so gas which is present in our body, that will increases. Okay, so but till he stay in the underwater, there is no symptom, there is no problem at all. Okay, but when he ascend immediately, so whatever the gas content will be there, so that will comes out as bubbles. Okay, the gas will come out as bubbles. The small bubbles, there is no harm, but when it form a large bubbles, so that is in the region of the joints and all, that leads to bends called pain around the joints, that will leads to pain around the joints. So if it is enter the pulmonary circulation, those gas bubble, if it enter the lungs or pulmonary circulation, so that will lead to chokes. So breathing become shortness of breathing, or breathing problem or coughing will be taking place. If it is enter the coronary circulation, that there is a myocardial damage or heart attack can be seen. Understood? When the person is going inside to the river, so he feel nothing will happen. So but if he ascend suddenly, so because of high barometric pressure, so the gases, the volume of the gas content in the tissues will be increases. Okay, when he sudden ascend, so those will escape as a bubbles, nitrogen bubbles. So those will go and cause a pain in the joints if we stay in the joints, or if we go to the lungs, pulmonary circulation, so choke may be seen, or if it enter the heart, coronary circulation, that will lead to heart attack. So prevention, so slow ascent. Okay, so if the person the person has to ascend very slowly, so that will prevent the bubbles become large. Okay, small bubbles there is no harm, but if it become large, so that will leads to symptoms. Okay, and also nowadays they will use wearing a scuba gear. Okay, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Okay, that's complete the respiratory system. So understood? So in the clinical application, so one is a hypoxia, very important. Okay, so mountain sickness, acclimatization, then cyanosis, then asphyxia, decompression sickness.